Hello, hello, my friends. This is Kristen Fagan here for our Customer Appreciation Week California Dreamin' Kit Make-Along. I'm going to pop up our giveaway at the bottom of the screen here. So we have a giveaway happening during the live video. You'll use the hashtag KIT, hashtag KIT in the comments to enter. And I'll just be collecting those names throughout the show. We will choose a winner at the end. You must be here at the end to win. And yeah, so we're going to get going. Let me go ahead and say hello. I hope you all have been having a wonderful Monday. We've had a fantastic kickoff to our Customer Appreciation Week. We started with a video at 11 a.m. Pacific time this morning for our kickoff with Sarah and Joyce. And we talked a little bit about what Customer Appreciation Week is. We talked about the presenters and the schedule, how you can find all of the kits for this week available at you can find the list on over at softflexcompany.com. There's a page called Customer Appreciation Week. You click on that right from our homepage, and you'll get to see all the details there, along with links to all of the kits. Most of them are still available. I think we have sold out of 2, Danielle Wicks and Silver Silk and More. However, I do think that Danielle Wicks had a few extras in her little finding pack if you wanted to grab that. And Nile has been putting together a pop-up shop for this week. So you can check out those details on his website. And then I think everyone else still has some kits available. They had a lot of them had multiple colors, so they might be sold out of certain colorways. They might have new colorways for you to check out. So that's all happening this week. I'll pop on those presenters one more time. Here we go. We had Cassandra Spicer with us today. So you can check out the replay over on the Softflex Company Facebook page or YouTube channel. And that's also where you'll see all of the live events. So you can click notifications on either of those websites as well, Facebook or YouTube, for the videos you want to make sure you get notified for. Coming up this week, we've got Rebecca Combs and Abby Berta and Kay Goss, Nilay Patel, Elena Kowalski, Sam and Shira, Danielle Wicks, and then myself, Sarah, and Joyce will be on throughout the week as well as hosts as well as presenters. Here is our schedule for this week. So on the final video for today, and then tomorrow we kick off with Kay Goss and Star Beads and beadoria.com at 11 a.m. Pacific time, followed by Abby Berta from the Bead Place at 1 p.m. Pacific time. And then Sarah will be live for Softflex Company, working with the California Dreaming Kit, just as I am today at 3 p.m. Pacific time tomorrow. All right, so let's see. I got quite a few of you on here already. Hello, hello. You guys have just been hanging out with us all day long. It's like a peek in the day in the life of a Softflexer, right? You're hanging out with us since this morning, all through the day, with 3 videos happening every day except for Thursday, because we'll have one epic live sale on Thursday, along with one guest in the morning. So it'll just be 2 videos on Thursday. I'm going to be working with our California Dreaming kit. And you see, Joyce opened it up and unboxed it on our earlier video. And here I've got it all laid out. I was sorting. And Sherry is sharing facts with us. Let me go see what facts that Sherry has shared. Let me scroll back up. Oh, she's going to be posting them in the comments. Thank you, Sherry. So look for Sherry's posting random California facts in the comments. If you're wondering why our kit is called California Dreaming, it's because Softflex Company is located in California. We've always been in Sonoma, California since our inception, and it's always held a very special place in our hearts. So we are California kids at Softlex Company, and we wanted to put together a kit for Customer Appreciation Week, honoring that. And actually, fun fact, our very first mystery kit that we ever created when we first started doing mystery kits many years ago, I forgot. Let me try to see if I remember what it was called. I think it had Sonoma in it. Do you remember, Damien? Our first kit we ever made, it was a Sonoma wine kit inspired. And maybe it was called like Sonoma Dreams or something along those lines. I'll have to look it up. I could probably find it in our inventory, past inventory list. But that was our very first mystery kit, was a Sonoma themed kit. So we're coming full circle here with our California Dreaming kit. And there's so much fun stuff to play with. I took the bangle. Helene says, you took the bangle. I know we were talking about it today. Who's going to get the bangle? And Sarah decided it was first come, first serve. And since I was the first one doing a video with this kit this week, because Mondays are my day, I got the bangle. But you never know. Joyce might decide she wants the bangle too and just give you another option, right? I decided to use it as a sun catcher. I have a pretty big wrist and I have a very large like hand circumference here. So getting bangles over my hand is pretty tough. So there was no way I was getting this bangle over my hand. Some of you may be a lot luckier in that you have more dainty and petite hands and you'll be able to wear this as a bangle, but there's no way that I was getting that bangle over my hand. So I decided I would take it, flip it this way, and make a fun sun catcher with all of you today. And you could do it even this way. I have done sun catchers in the past. They're almost more like mobiles, where you flip it this way and then you create a little hanger top here. So that's an option too. But I'm going to do it this way and then have it hang from the top. Isn't it cute? I know a few of you are asking about Hawaii. Is it really happening? It's not a joke. It's really happening. All thanks to my husband. He got himself a job over there. He started working with the company back in May, and he was just doing a little remote work with them and going back and forth. He went there for a couple of weeks in July and then a couple of weeks again in August, and he is officially working as of September 1st. So I am going. He's been having way too much fun on the island without me. And I'm going to be joining him this week. And I'll be on island for a couple of months. And we still will have a home base here in Arizona. One of my kids is still going to be staying in Arizona. My other kid is off in Boston. But this home in Arizona is still going to be his home base as well. So I will be both places, but yeah, as of this week, I'll be headed over to the island of Maui in Hawaii, and I will be there for a couple of months. I'll be able to go hang out with our friends. Christy Friesen is over there. I've had a lovely time seeing her whenever I visited, and I'm excited to be able to catch up with her a little more often and get creative with Christy. Jenny says, me too, Kristen. That's why I thought of a sun catcher. Yeah, it's a pretty, bangles are just never okay for me. I have to really find like a very large bangle for it to work. And so I knew right away, although I love this finding, I knew right away that I would end up doing something different with it. And it's pretty large, but I don't think that it's too large to make something kind of showstoppery as a pendant, either long or short. So that was an option too. But I just thought with all this fun California memorabilia, like the little oranges and the state of California and all of these fun colors. It just had a lot of whimsy. And I thought that sun catchers are perfect for whimsy, right? So much fun. Barbara can't wear bangles. I think it's a common, right? I think it's a common thing. I have a few bangles that I can wear that I have found over the years, and I do have a couple in my jewelry stash, but more often than not, I can't. So if you're just tuning in, we're going to be working with the California Dreaming Kit, mystery kit over at Softlex Company. I took a peek before Cassandra was on, and we had around 30 of these kits left. So they are moving today. We have a sale happening. You know what? Let me pop that up before I go ahead and... Ooh, we should have had some avocados. Sherry said San Diego is the avocado capital of the world. Sherry is here sharing some fun facts. I'm going to go ahead and pop up our sale so that we can just get that out of the way before I get going. We've got a wonderful swag bag that we put together for all of you. It's the 2024 Customer Appreciation Week swag bag. And in that bag is this art notebook or sketchbook that I created for you, as well as some random jewelry that I have made on my Free Spirit beading tutorials. I sent a few hundred pieces back to the office, and they will randomly choose from either earrings, bracelets, or necklaces to drop one in each of the swag bags, and they will be a random assortment for all of you. All you got to do is place a retail order with us of $99 or more, and then use the coupon code CAW swag, CAWSWAG, and it will add that free swag bag to your cart. You can shop over at softlexcompany.com. You're only allowed to use one coupon per order. So just note, if you enter the CAW swag and it gives you that swag bag, and then you try and enter another coupon, it will replace the first coupon and it'll put in that second coupon instead, and your swag bag will leave your cart. So just a heads up that there's only one coupon per order. Make sure to look over your cart before you check out. Make sure everything looks okay for you. You need to have a subtotal of $99 or more. That's after your discounts and anything and tax, I think, too. And the last thing I want to note is, yeah, if you add a swag bag to your cart, if you want more than one, you would add one to your cart, put in that code, and then you'll get the free one. If you only want one, then don't add it to your cart. Just shop, add $99 into your cart, then use the code, and it'll send that free one into the cart for you. I hope that makes sense. It's not valid with any other order discount. So if you're a wholesale designer, you'll either get your wholesale designer discounts, or you can check out as a guest and get this deal when you're placing a retail order. The offer is good until September 24th or while supplies last. And yeah, all right, let's go ahead and pop back down to my beading table and take a look at all these beautiful beads. And I have to say, I didn't end up using these, but sometimes beads are just so comfortable on your wrist, and that's what I feel like with these. So if you would love bracelets, I think these beads are going to be awesome for a cool bracelet because they're just so smooth and really comfortable on your wrist. So this kit came with these 3 strands of check glass beads. I'm not using any of those on this particular kit, but I'm sure Sarah or Joyce will use them later this week. It also came with these adorable check glass hearts, which I have cut off the strand, and I am using one of these in this little sun catcher, so I'll put one of those aside. It's got these super fun starfish. I'm using all of those that came in my kit. I think mine came with 4. And they also have these like scallop shells And I'm using them at the bottom of my design here. I think I'll end up with using maybe 3. So I'll have 1 left over. I'll have to decide, do I do blue or do I do peach? I'm definitely using some of these fun orange rondelles as little pops in there. I used one of these little orange charms, and I think I'm going to add the other one to the other side for a little symmetry on there. I used one of those California charms that were in the kit with the little heart right in the center. And then as well as another assortment of things. I'll just kind of pick them up as I go, I guess. So I've got a few of these. I definitely used some of these spacers, some of these green beads, these blue beads, and then a lot of these really pretty sparkly turquoise rondelles, because I thought that they had a really beachy vibe and they would kind of bring everything together by adding a bunch of those rondelles in there. These fun tubes are in the longer strands, and these super fun little striped round beads I put with all of the stars. I love how these just give it such a whimsical feel. Let me pop back to comments to make sure I'm seeing everybody. Here we go. Beautiful selection. Blue jeans are a California product born in San Francisco. I had no idea, Sherry. That's fantastic. Wow, I had no idea. Okay, so let's take a little bit look at my construction here. So I was first thinking about doing more of a mobile style like this, but then I decided I didn't want to use up all of my crimps from the kit. So I decided to kind of alternate with doing a beaded strand with crimps and a strand with those head pins, because we gave you a bunch of head pins with the kit with the idea that you might need them to go all around that bangle. So we're going to go every other one. Well, just on the bottom here. We'll do head pin, bead stringing wire, soft flex, head pin, soft flex, bead stringing wire. And then these are all on little head pins on the ends here. And then the ones in the center are all on the soft flex bead stringing wire. So let's do our next, let me take a look at our pattern and do our next one. This bead is sticking to my bead mat there. There we go. So we've got a strand, a starfish, a strand, a starfish. So we're going to put right here, we're going to add another one of these long strands. And what color should I do? Let's see. Here's the blue. Or here's sort of the peachy pink. I kind of like how the blue grounds it all with these other cool colors. So I think I'm going to go ahead with that one and save this one for something else. So I'm going to use my soft flex dark blue lapis beading wire. This is what you get in the kit. You get a 10-foot spool of this gorgeous dark blue lapis color. I'm going to cut myself 10 inches. So here we've got 10 inches. And we're going to start by stringing the shell. And we're going to string the shell right into the center of that bead strand. And then next up, we're going to do one of these really pretty cylinder crystals. And we're going to slide it down here. In an effort to not have to use another crimp, I wanted to find a bead that would sort of cinch down and hold that shell in place. It can go that way, it can go that way. And so that one worked really well. I just cinch it down right in the center, and I don't have to crimp it at the bottom as well as the top. And then, lucky for us, so many of these beads string on to a double strand of Soflex. So I'm just going to slide one of these orange beads onto both of those strands. And then I'm going to go ahead and do one of these gold spacer beads. And all of the beads and wire and head pins and findings, everything I'm using, you can find in the California Dreaming kit over at softflexcompany.com. Then I'd use one of these green ones. And then I'm going to use one of these gold spacers. Did you all catch Cassandra's video this afternoon right before me? That was a lovely, lovely project, as well as a super lovely conversation. It was really beautiful to talk about how meaningful beading is to everyone and how so many of you have come to beading either through very difficult times or it's gotten you through very difficult times. And it was just so nice to spend a little time being vulnerable with each other and talking about how grateful we are for this community and for the ability to find beading and find all of you to get creative with. Colleen says, yes, I love that layered necklace and lots of beautiful feels, definitely. Lots of love with Cassandra, for sure. So this is my pattern that I have for all of the drops. And next I will put a crimp tube. So you get a little package of 2x2 millimeter crimp tubes. I think you get 20. Let me see how many I'm using. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've used 7 so far. It's always nice to have extra crimps on hand. And that's one of my favorite things of our kits is that we always give you a whole bunch of new crimps in a different metal tone each time. So you can really build up your crimp stash with our kits if you don't end up using them all in a project like this. That might be a little extra crimp heavy than some of the other ones. So now I'm going to go ahead and attach this to my bangle, or sun catcher in my case. So I'm going to go ahead and feed the 2 wires through the loop here, the next loop on my form. And then I'm going to feed them both into my crimp. Now, sometimes you can only get 3, and that would be fine if you only take 1 back through because you're going to be crimping it and they'll secure both wires anyway. But I found I was able to get both of them through on the other ones. Let's see if I can do that on this one. There we go. My eyes were getting a little googly-eyed. I wasn't quite seeing where to go. So in this case, I just took those 2 wires back down, and that just makes it a little more snug in here. You just want to make sure that when you're pulling the loop and making your little loop here, that you're pulling on both wires and you're keeping that loop even so that they don't kind of get out of line with each other. And now I'll just check that I'm liking the size of my loop in comparison to the other 2 that I did. It's always kind of nice to show, like, be a little consistent with that. And then when you're ready, go ahead and crimp. I'm going to go ahead and use my magical crimping pliers, put that crimp tube right in the center of the notch on the crimping pliers, give it a good squeeze, make it a ravioli, which has 4 little pinched corners on that square. That's how you know you got it right in the center. And then turn it 90 degrees and put it back in that notch to squeeze it again. And then squeeze around a few more times. You can always use a regular crimping plier or a different crimping plier as well. We do just suggest crimping pliers versus smashing them with a chain nose plier because it's a much more secure connection. I just find this to be such a fun, whimsical color palette. I'm loving it. So next, after our strand, we're going to do another one of these little dangles with our star. I'm just going to take my nylon job pliers and straighten out my head pin. Some of them are a little wonky. And my pattern for these are to put a little star on the bottom. And I have my star going through the center. You'll see it goes out the top of one and then it has like a little center here. So your star could either hang that way or it could hang this way with the 1 point at the bottom. But I did them all this way. And then I've got that striped bead that I put on top there. And then I've got a little spacer on top of that. And then lastly, I added that turquoise rondelle. Thank you. Kathy says, beautiful color combinations. The sun catcher looks great. There's so many pretty beads left too. This color is having my heart a little bit. I almost put these in the sun catcher and decided I really wanted to keep it for a piece of jewelry because I just love the tone of this blue. It's so, so pretty. I'm kind of thinking maybe it'll go really well with that. So now I'm going to create a little simple loop at the top. I'm going to grab some chain nose pliers and turn that wire 90 degrees. And then I'm using my wire looper pliers. I've been using the 3rd size. So this is the smallest, the next size. This one's the 3rd on this spot here. So that's what I've been using for all of my loops just to keep them consistent. I decided to pick one, go up and around that tool, and then take the tool and bend it around. Just going to go ahead and straighten that out. And then using my cutters, I'm going to cut the excess wire off and just create that simple loop. Again, straighten it out up and down because I bent it a little bit, and then I can open it. Slide it on here. And then go ahead and wiggle that closed nice and tight. And so now I have the bottom portion of my sun catcher all done, I think. Oh no, I have one more of these I need to do. Oh, I did end up doing 4 because of the amount, because this one's the center. Okay, well, good. Good. So I will end up using this guy over here. So we'll do another strand, just like we did the first one. Cut myself 10 inches again. I see a few of you say I have your creative wheels turning with this idea. I'm excited for that. You know, we've got a wonderful Facebook group called the Softlex VIB Studio. So I'd love to see what you end up making with this kit and post it over there in the group. We even do a little giveaway to encourage you to participate in sharing. We're going to go ahead and use that same bead, slide it down in the center, cinch it down. Let me go figure out what my hashtag is for the group. Oh, it's dreaming, because it's called California Dreaming. So starting today, September 16th through October 28th, you can post a picture of your design or multiple designs made with this kit in our Softlex VIB Studio Facebook group using the hashtag dreaming, and that will enter you into the giveaway to win a future kit. The winner is chosen at random, so it's not based on anyone judging your pieces. This way it welcomes everyone from beginner all the way up to expert designer, and we just love to see what you guys are making. So that's one way we kind of encourage you to participate and share with us and everyone in your community. So I'm going to go ahead and do that same pattern again that I did on the last strand. I do that crystal, and then I've got the orange bead, a little spacer, and I'm taking these down both wires. One of these green beads, another spacer, this pretty round blue bead, turquoise rondelle, this cylinder bead, and our final little orange bead we got here. Go ahead and pick up another one of your 2x2 sterling silver crimp tube, slide that down, and now we're going to go ahead and attach it into this little opening right here. So take your 2 wires through that opening to attach it to your form. Grab a hold of your crimp tube and then slide those 2 wires back down. And then pull them to make your loop smaller. And then the last thing I got to do is I have to get rid of this space that's here. So I need to move that crimp down, and then pull those 2 wires again to make my little loops smaller. And then I'm going to go ahead and crimp, taking that magical crimping plier, has 1 notch. I'm putting it right over that crimp tube, right in the center. It's going to pinch all 4 corners on that crimp, and then turn it 90 degrees, place it back into that notch. You can either turn your tool or the crimp, whichever is easiest. I kind of do either or depending on the project. Sometimes it's the tool that's easier. Sometimes it's the actual crimp that's easier to turn. And then we'll trim off the excess wire here. So Softflex beading wire, if you're new to us at Softflex Company, is a stainless steel beading wire that has been braided in a proprietary braid and then coated with a beautiful color. In this case, we're using the dark blue lapis, which is one of my favorites. And then it has a nylon coating on top. So when you're crimping, you're really cinching down into that nylon coating, and that's what's helping to secure your piece together. And it won't color fade, it won't crack, none of that will happen. So it's perfect for designs like this, in which it's going to be outside in the elements, because it will hold up. I'll probably find that some of my dangles done with the wire will fade or rust or, tarnish a little bit over time, but the Softflex beading wire is going to stay beautiful. All right, so next up, now we've gotten the whole base of our sun catcher done. Next up, I just have these cute little dangles that I did on the side. The first one is a little check glass heart and a spacer. Then it's one of these disco balls, which I have to find out where mine went. I think I knocked it on the floor. And then lastly, it's one of those teeny tiny little rondelles. Yes, I did knock it on the floor. Okay, found that. So we're going to grab our head pins for these. We're going to go ahead and I'm just going to give it a quick straightening for that. And I'm going to add one of these little bead caps on the bottom. And then I'm going to add one of these pretty blue check glass hearts on top of that. And go ahead and bend this towards me. And now I'm going to use the smaller. I think I ended up using the smallest one on this tool because they're on the side here. I didn't want the dangle to really dangle too far down. So I decided on these 3 to go and switch to this really tiny loop here. Sherry says, turned out awesome, Kristen. Your dark blue placement is perfect. Thank you. I know these little beads right here, right? They're like, boop, boop. Really kind of catches your eye with the dark blue lapis wire, but not overpowering, right? Margaret says, perfect for your home in Hawaii. It is. I packed up all of the sun catchers I've made. The ones that I haven't given away, I packed up to bring with me because I thought they're going to be really fun to place in my new home. And then I'll just add that dangle to this little loop here. And now we'll do the next one, which is just one of these sparkly disco balls. Linda, so sweet of you to say. Linda says, Kristen, everything you make is beautiful. Thank you, thank you. I didn't always feel like I liked what I made. And that's normal, right? You're always, when you're experimenting and playing around with stuff, or you're just new to jewelry making, you're not going to like everything you do. And that's all right. And sometimes people really like, sometimes I found things I don't really personally like myself or like someone else's favorite thing, right? So I think that that's just a good lesson in don't get discouraged if you make something you don't love, because one thing you have to keep making to get to the point where you start making things that you love on a regular basis. You get more and more comfortable with your techniques and your process. And the other thing is, you never know what somebody else is absolutely going to adore that maybe you didn't like so much. So I think it's in Rick Rubin's book, something along the lines of like, you know, it's not your job to figure out what somebody else wants. Your job is to just make the thing, be happy with what you're creating, and then see what happens, because you'll find the right people for it, right? I do feel like at this point, I've been doing these videos so long that I do like a lot of the things that I make, but I don't feel that that was always true. I'm much more comfortable in making things than I used to be, and I'm a little quicker, not a lot quicker, a little quicker on my decision-making process. But that all comes with time and experience and trying things and making things that you don't like. Teresa says, I get that all the time with my pottery pieces. I'm not happy with them and others love them, right? It's always a good reminder that sometimes I'm making things for me. Sometimes I'm making things for someone else. And it doesn't matter if I like it, because they're going to love it. All right, so now I've just got one little guy in the middle to do. This thing's hard to put down on my bead mat. Every time I pick it up, it's hard to put it back down. It's supposed to be hanging, not like this, right? It gets a little stuck. I'm like, just go flat, please. Okay. Randy says there's more than one flavor of ice cream. Yep, Wendy says, if I make something I don't like, I put it aside for later. Sometimes just giving yourself time away from it, coming back to it later. I find that with art a lot. Like I can get a little frustrated with art in the process, and then you walk away and you come back later and you're like, oh, maybe that is done. Maybe that is fine where it's at, and I don't have to be tortured by it any longer. Sherry says, I know, I love that about you, Sherry. Sherry says, I force myself to exhaust a kit to almost nothing. Then I start posting like a mad woman. I posted questionable pics before. That's one thing that's kind of interesting too, right? Is if you push yourself to keep creating with the kit, even with the beads that maybe were not your favorite, you can totally surprise yourself with what you come up with. And sometimes the piece ends up being your favorite, even if the parts and pieces were not your favorite to start with. Jody says, I tend to walk away from projects a lot, and it really helps the creativity flow. It does. I think sometimes we get kind of stuck in the moment of the making, and then we need to give ourselves a little breather and come back and see where we land when we see it again. And that's totally cool too, Ruth. Ruth says, sometimes I take apart and redo what I'm working on a sewing machine many times. Yeah, I cut up a bunch of stuff recently. When I was going through my office to pack things up and send a bunch of jewelry back to Softlex Company, I, in the process, had some things where I really liked the beads, but maybe I just never really wore the design, or I didn't like how it turned out in the end, or maybe it didn't lay right, so it wasn't exactly comfortable. And just cut them up. It's so freeing to be like, oh my gosh, now I have all these fun, beautiful beads to play with again. Instead of letting something just be like ho hum, and you can give them new life. So for this little dangle, I just did that orange, crimped it, put a little spacer, and then one of those really pretty clear crystally beads. And now I'm going to attach it to the ring, but instead of attaching it on the outside like this, I'm going to attach it going down the inside of the ring so that it hangs from the front. So I'm going to go grab one of these crimp tubes, slide that on, and then pick this up again. So if I put it on the outside, if I went through and crimped it this way, then it would be hanging from the outside, and I want this to dangle on the inside. So I'm going to point it down toward the side. Go ahead and pull that wire through. And also you want to make sure you're putting it in the right direction. I have this one facing this way. I have this one facing that way. Or though maybe that's okay, because if it's spinning around, maybe you want an orange on each side. So that's a possibility too. Did I make a mistake? Or was it meant to be like that so that I have an orange no matter how you look? So if I need to reestablish that and switch it around, I'm just going to take my wire out. I'm going to twist my charm so it's in the front. And then I'll put the wire back through. And then thread it through that crimp once again. It's nice to have a decent sized piece of soft flex when you're doing this, especially because it's a little bit in an awkward of a position. And so having a little extra wire kind of helps you fiddle with it a little bit better. And did I do it again? Oh, look what I did. I did it again. Jody, does Softflex sell those big rings? We only sell it in the kit. So you have to grab the California Dreaming kit to get one of these rings. A lot of times when we're making these kits, we gather items specifically for the kit only. Is it just me, or what is happening here? Why does it keep spinning around? It's like teasing me. All right, let's try and go this way. So that is one of these items. That's the bangle. It was just for the kit. And I don't believe we have any extras, because if we had extras, we would have put them up online already. You guys, like, what is happening here? Why does it keep going backwards to the other way? It's like, maybe. What do I have to do here? It might be because my wire bent a little bit. Let's see. Stay this way. Aha, I got it. That was so silly. I've done that with earrings before. Have you guys done that, where every time you go to put an earring on an ear wire, you put it on backwards? Or is that just me? I actually think it's like twisting here. So before I crimp, let me make sure I get it positioned right. Like for real. I think I'm going to cut myself a new piece of wire. Maybe I've just curled it in a way that it's being it's being funny. All right, start again. Let's start again. I think I over curled my wire, and because of that, it just wasn't cooperating. Or maybe it's playing a little joke on me. Go ahead and crimp that again. And then after the crimp, I've got this little gold spacer. And then I've got this one, the clear spacer. And Jean says, reverse the wire direction back to front. I thought I tried it both ways. Both ways. It was not cooperating with me. Okay. So here's my front with my orange, and I want it to stay at the front. So let's go ahead and feed that through. Yeah, maybe that is the problem. If I go from the back and come this way. There we go. Thank you, Jean. From back to front seemed to have worked. And then I will pull that up. That was being so silly. Maybe it was just my direction. I was just going opposite direction of what it wanted to do. So then we'll crimp here. Oh no, my computer is not happy because it's been unplugged all day and it's giving me a low power message. So I better wrap this up. So now I just have to put a little loop at the top, either with wire, or I could do craft wire. You can even do like a big jump ring, and that will be the top that you connect it with. Boss of those beads. But let me pull up our giveaway and grab that before we lose my computer. All right. And then we'll come back if we've got extra time. So here we go. Let me pull that giveaway up. And then we've got 101 of you that have entered. Last chance, #kit to get in there. I'm the boss of those beads. Sometimes I'm the boss. Sometimes the beads are the boss. Before my computer shuts off, let's go ahead and draw our winner. Here we go. Who's it gonna be? Who's gonna be? You must be here to win. So you need to let me know that you're here if I call your name. Norma Frank. Norma Frank, watching on YouTube. Are you here? Let us know in the comments as quick as you can. We've had so much fun. She's here. Hooray! Norma, please send us a message at info@softflexcompany.com and let us know your shipping address, and we will get one of these California Dreaming kits out to you. Hooray, hooray, congratulations. And I'm just gonna pop this up. I just have to add a little hook right here, but this is how our suncatcher ended. Isn't that so sweet? Super fun and whimsical with all of these great colors. It's going to be so pretty out on my new patio or in a window. You can even get one of those fun little suction cup little, I don't know where you guys get those, but I know that they have them probably at like the home stores or something, that you can stick them to a window or a sliding glass door. Really, really sweet. Ah, we made it. My computer didn't shut down on all of you. So, thanks for hanging with us all today. We'll be back tomorrow for 3 more videos, one at 11 a.m. Pacific time, one at 1 p.m. Pacific time, and one at 3 p.m. Pacific time as well. So be sure to check us out at softflexcompany.com. You can find the schedule and all the links to all the presenters kits there, or you can go to the individual presenters web pages, websites, and find their projects there as well. Yes, love to do that with Christmas ornaments. That's such a great idea. We can make a ring hook for hanging. Totally, totally. Or you can just do some string. You know, all of our kits are wrapped. All of our kits are wrapped in a little bit of string. So you can even just use this string and add it to the top and hang it that way so that you don't even need any other supplies. Isn't that great? Yes, you can release your projects from the California Dreaming Kit. So if you want to go and start sharing in the Softflex VIB Studio group, use the hashtag Dreaming, and that will start counting your entries for the California Dreaming giveaway for a future kit. Grab a kit while they last. We still have some available, but I bet you we're in the 20s or so of how many we have left. You're welcome for all the great ideas. Thanks for hanging out with us today, and we will see you all again tomorrow. Bye, everybody.